Parasite SEO manual action penalty pandemonium, also known as Clapageddon, Claporama, the great clapback, the clapping, or if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Welcome, Dash.
I thought I'd clap.
Makes sense. So today we're going to talk through what's going on as the news is broken out because there's been all sorts of crazy announcements. Have you seen some of the sites that have been hit recently?
I was up to date to as of yesterday, unless there's been more websites that have been hit. But I did see that the Telegraph's coupon section of the website got hit, and also the Telegraph's betting section of the website got hit. So it was a double clap by them. And yeah, the weird thing is though, the Telegraph's been hit, but the Independent hasn't, and it's the exact same deal that they've got. So I don't know what's going on there, unless we see them get hit further down the line.
It's absolutely crazy. I'm going to pull up some tweets because I think this is probably the best place to find the news on it right now, as it's like just breaking out and that sort of thing. But obviously, Glenn as well, right? Glenn
Yeah.
Allstop. He did this really interesting image that basically pulls up and shows all the sites that have been hit. Now, it seems like it's just massive coupon mania at the minute, right? Like loads of sites hosting coupons have been hit. Why do you think they've targeted coupons, first of all?
So yeah, I think it's the exact same reason as to why. So as you can see, the on the right hand side, fourth one down, telegraph.co.uk/betting. Now, what's essentially happened, and I'm guessing it's probably the same what's happened with the coupon section, is there's some really big affiliates that outreach to some of these big authoritative websites. For example, just for everybody watching, if you were to go and sign up to, let's say, Bet365's affiliate offer today, you might get, let's say, £20 CPA and let's say 10% rev share, something along those lines. Because they don't know who you are, you probably don't get much traffic, etc. Now, there's some big dog affiliates in the gambling space that get, let's say, £40 or £100 CP and 40% rev share. Now, that's essentially what's happened with the telegraph.co.uk betting section. So they essentially rented out the betting section from Telegraph and they stuck their affiliate offers on there. Now, I reckon that's probably the same with all the coupon sections and stuff, where they're not actually like the website owners aren't actually reviewing the actual coupons or the betting offers or whatever. They're just essentially seeing all the money. So I think that's probably the reason why a lot of the coupon sections did get hit. Because coupons as well, it's not like a cheap industry or a cheap niche. You can make a lot of money on it.
Yeah, I'll come on to some of the estimates that have been posted for how much money's been lost across these directories. It's pretty insane. But what's quite interesting about these coupon directories is, like you say, they're not really reviewing the coupons. I don't know whether you've ever been on the search results and found coupons. Most of the time, they don't even work anyway, right? Like you click the
I'm
code.
glad you're saying it because yeah, it's the same with me.
Yeah, that's it. You click the code, the cookie's on there. So if you do buy anything, they're going to make money. But most of the time, I find these coupons don't even work. I want to pull up a tweet by Lily Ray as well that was pretty interesting, talking about how basically newspapers have been working with coupon providers since the early 1900s, right? But Google essentially determined these legitimate business partnerships, this is in her words, are on par with other types of parasite SEO. For example, like casinos, CBD, that sort of thing. What's your take on that? Because, like we were saying, I think a lot of these coupons are not being manually reviewed. There's no editorial process in place. And it's a good way to make money, makes a lot of money, but there's no sort of manual vetting in there, really, is there?
Yeah, if we go back to September last year when a lot of the helpful or non-helpful websites got hit, the main reason why I didn't trust the service was because I knew exactly how people would structure their website. You would search for best, let's say, monitors, and the most or the highest paying affiliate would be at the top. I reckon it's very similar in this instance where a lot of the coupons are exactly the same. Let's say Adobe have a coupon. Julian Goldie's just stuck it right at the top, or the Mirror's stuck it right at the top as being like the most saving coupon or whatever. So I think that's probably got a factor to play in it. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think it's just like there's no. I think Google have come after it because there's no manual editing process in place. It's like a really easy way for everyone to make money that's being abused, like a little bit of a hack. And
Mm.
the problem is, right? It's not like a coupon directory on a site that's an expert in that niche, right? So, for example, if you had a coupon section on your website, Kazra, as an SEO expert, and there were loads of coupons for discounts on SEO codes and SEO tools and SEO services, etc., etc., that would make total sense to me. But
Yeah.
what I've seen is like big publications just leverage authority, and that's why they're ranking. And I can see why they do it. I'm not saying that's wrong, but
Mhm.
at some point, I guess Google said enough is enough, right?
The one weird thing about this is what category would you put the Telegraph in? Like, what niche would you put the Telegraph in? Because I reckon that there will be some SEO related articles on the Telegraph. There will be there will be a lot of betting related articles, or not even betting, but just sports related articles, potentially talking a little bit on betting. So that's the one thing that I'm sat here and I'm like, oh, it's a difficult one. What do you do? Do you ban the entire website? Do you ban certain portions of the website? Because, for instance, as much as I hate to say it, the Telegraph, you could look at that website and say it does have a lot of sports related articles on it. So yes, it should rank for sports betting.
Yeah, it's a really good point. Definitely. I don't know because you just don't know what Google's thinking as well.
Yeah,
Like, this is such a temperamental time for Google. We've seen manual action penalties in March, crazy algorithmic penalties, helpful content penalties on sites that are actually buying the products and reviewing them. And then this happens as well. And this is so far purely manual action related, right? There's no algorithmic penalties.
I believe that is the case. Yeah, I think I saw that on Twitter saying that right now it's just manual actions and they're going to somehow bake it into the actual algorithm at some point.
Yeah, from what I saw, I think it was Google Search Liaison who basically said so far it's purely about manual action. Pretty
Yeah.
crazy. I want to pull up this tweet as well by Charles Float, who basically estimates how much some of these directory sites might have lost, right? So Charles said, my estimates for how much some of the large public Parasite SEO sites have been affected by Google manual actions via the new reputation abuse policy in the past 24 hours. Pretty crazy numbers right there. What's your take
Yeah.
on that?
Yeah, that's insane when you look at the numbers. The Telegraph, I know for a fact they were earning at least 1 million a month just from the betting section. It was insane. So yeah, that's an interesting take on it. Does he mention where he got the numbers from?
No, I don't think there's any numbers that I've seen so far. If I pull up,
Right.
I can't see like where the data is sourced by. And he does just say these are estimates.
One thing that I will say, and the reason why I'm speaking a lot about the betting side is because I've actually got a few betting affiliate sites. Is even though that the Telegraph and USA Today betting's been hit, they're still going to be earning because they're on like a lot of the deals that they will have. They'll be on like rev share. So, for example, if I was to sign Julian Goldie up to Bet365 via Telegraph's website, and let's say you went and got stuck on loads of bets over the next 12 months and lost them all, I would still be getting paid. So that's the interesting part to it. They've only just stopped new players signing up to the Telegraph and USA betting and stuff like that. But all the existing, like for example, the Telegraph, I remember they've been ranking for like at least the best part of 2, 3 years for a lot of gambling and casino and betting phrases. So they've built up their affiliate accounts with a lot of players in that 2 to 3 years. So they're still earning.
They're still making money from these, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing as well. Like Parasite SEO, it's not going to disappear overnight, is it? Like from what I've actually seen so far, and there's only been manual action penalties so far, but it seems like one Parasite SEO that gets wiped out is just replaced by another Parasite directory in the listings because there's so many ready to go. It's a whack a mole.
Yeah, that's exactly how I saw somebody explaining SEO, like black hat SEO, where basically they said Google comes out with an update, then all the black hats find a way to find a loophole, and then Google comes out with another update, and then it's just a long game of whack-a-mole, basically.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. There's another tweet here that I found pretty interesting. I want to see your take on this. So, and it's good to share the reactions because normally if I do a live stream or something like that, I can't talk about the drama with someone directly. And so that's
Mhm.
why I like to ask your opinion as well. But for example, Nick, you can see his tweet here, and he's basically saying that site reputation abuse is a joke, aka the new update rolled out, because a lot of these big publications, and this is what the update is targeting, right? Big publications like the Telegraph, CNN got here, Outlook India, etc. These sites got 2 months notice upfront to change things before the update happened. And then, unlike, for example, the core update or the helpful content update that wiped out the whole of most people's sites, it wasn't like a page by page situation or a directory by directory situation. These publishers, they might get hit on the coupon side of the directories, but they haven't been hit site wide. Whereas if it was a small
Yeah.
independent publisher, they probably get hit on the whole site.
I've spoke about this before, I believe, and I first of all don't like just solely relying on Google because as they can just change the goalpost to whatever they want. So if they want a more authoritative, or sorry, a domain authoritative algorithm, they can just tweak something in the back, and all the more authority style websites, as we're seeing right now, rank higher. Or let's say, for example, they then decide to go after more topical authoritative websites. They can tweak something in the back, and more niche related websites will rank higher. I don't, again, it is their algorithm, so this is just my opinion, but I don't think that it's right that they've given 2 months notice to all the big publications. However, that being said, they surely must have seen some form of benefit of seeing the Telegraph's other pages rank higher. So, for example, we're talking about, let's say the Telegraph has 2 million pages in the index, right? We're probably talking about, let's say, 200,000 of those pages, or maybe even not even that, maybe 100,000 of those pages where, yes, they might have overstepped the mark. But does that mean that the entire website deserves to get hit? Probably not. Even though if, let's say, there's 1.8 million or 1.9 million pages that do serve a really good user experience, they tick a lot of Google's boxes and stuff like that. So I'm on the fence. I don't agree with the reasoning that they've done it, but then I can also see that the Telegraph or other newsworthy sites, they probably do provide a lot of value to users in the search. And at the end of the day, that's what Google's sole purpose is. How good is our search engine providing results to users? Now, a lot of people would probably disagree with me and say that the SERPs as of right now, they're absolutely shocking. But you need to also remember that it is like a super computer that's essentially picking out all of these results. It's not just one person's opinion, if that makes sense.
That'd be a lot of work, wouldn't it? There'd be a lot of
Yeah.
clicking around.
Yeah. What do
Yeah,
you
no,
think?
it's just the thing that I worry about, and I actually love Google as a product. I've always been a fan of Google search and everything like that. It's just really sad to see that the SERPs are quite messy right now. You can see that in the market share as well. If you look at the market share of Google, it's dropping versus Bing's. They seem to be like taking massive action now to fix it, but I think it might be like 2 or 3 years. This is a long term project, right? Because the SERPs are so messy, because of Parasite, because of AI, etc. It's like they're trying to figure out what to do, but
Yeah.
it's not like there's second or third order consequences. There's like 10th order consequences if they do this happens. And then they didn't see that coming.
A very interesting take that I got told, and this is just a theory, but basically what has been mentioned is that Parasite essentially ruined the SERPs. Because if you think of it, right, what Google looks at is a few different things, but I'll name some of the top ones that come to mind. They look at topical authority, and then they look at domain authority, and then they rank your page, right? That's give or take what is the two most important things that they look at. Now, if there's like SERPs that have, let's say, 6 or 7 parasite pages, which we did see at one point, then Google will automatically think that's a good serving page. So it'll try and find more parasites to rank for certain keywords because of what we've essentially fed it, right? So now they've essentially had to go back, which it looks like they are slowly but surely doing by killing off the parasites. And then they will hopefully fix the SERPs. That's what I've been told. So don't take that for fact. But it would make sense because at one point we did see there was SERPs where I was seeing like the top 18 results out of the 20 all being parasites.
I wonder whether to solve all of this mess, they're going to look at more and more ways to just focus on user engagement on the website rather than these external factors. Because if you rely too heavily on domain rating or authority or backlinks, which the SERPs seem to be arranged around right now, that's why Parasite SEO works so well.
Mhm.
It creates these problems. Whereas, for example, on YouTube, You don't do Parasite SEO. You don't publish a video on like the biggest channel on YouTube and pay like the Outlook India of YouTube to rank number one for that keyword. It's you just you create the best possible content you can. You make sure people
Yeah.
click on it. You make sure people watch on it, and then you win it.
Yeah, like the biggest ranking factor in YouTube is obviously your click through rate to your video, and then your view rate. Like if people are just clicking and then clicking off, then it's probably a bad result. And then if people are watching your video like two times or something, that's really good. So yeah, I think that is probably the way to go. There'll always be a way to manipulate search engines, so I'm sure the whack-a-mole game of black hats versus Google will be back at some point.
Yeah, I think it's already happening, right? If you look at some of the other stuff that I probably can't mention on this YouTube channel, there's all sorts of crazy stuff going on. The other thing that I just want to touch on before we go, because I saw a few YouTube comments about it as well, is that so far, if you look at the site reputation abuse policy, it's targeting sites that aren't user generated content. So it specifically says inside the site reputation abuse policy, this doesn't affect user generated websites. So you got all these sites that are user generated content related, for example, like LinkedIn, Reddit, a lot of people are using Medium, for example. Are they going to get hit or are they not going to get hit? Or is that another update in the future?
See, this is one that I was getting, or I was actually discussing yesterday. So, for example, if you look at LinkedIn Pulse, or if you look at what you said, Medium, another big one is GitHub ranks for all types of dodgy keywords and stuff. They've It looks like they've not been impacted by the hit, but it's how do you monitor that? How do you manage that? So that'll be an interesting one. I think they will probably get hit at some point because GitHub's just ranking for OnlyFans keywords, and then LinkedIn's ranking for actually LinkedIn. There was a funny case the other day. I searched site abuse policy or site reputation abuse, and LinkedIn actually had the feature snippet above Google, which was
I
quite
saw that
funny.
as well. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, these websites do need to. Again, they might be providing a good user journey. Who knows? I don't think they are. So at some point, they will probably get impacted. I reckon. What's your thoughts?
I think they've got to do something about it because it's just, again, overpowered. I think the one thing they must be really worried about is Google Groups getting abused because that seems to be ranking for all sorts of crazy stuff that, again, I can't mention on this YouTube channel. But how is that happening? Like, it blows my mind. That is so rampant. I've
Mm.
seen it. I've seen it screenshotted on Twitter, and if someone tags in John Mueller or Google Search Liaison, it must be a problem they're aware of. But again, they don't know how to fix it. So maybe
Uh,
there's another. I think there might be something coming where you know how the helpful content update comes out every year and the core update comes out every year. Maybe there's new site reputation abuse policies coming into play every 3 months or 6 months too.
Yeah. What one other thing as well to take into consideration is obviously we've just sat here for 10, 20 minutes and we've spoke about user engagement, for example, time spent on the website, how many pages people are going through and stuff like that. Another big factor is, I don't know if you've ever used GitHub. I know you would have used LinkedIn and potentially even in Google Groups and stuff. The user engagement count on those style of websites are pretty high. If they were to, also another one's Reddit as well. If they were to do something about those, then potentially they have another issue on their hands where they might tank a load of websites that don't deserve it. For example, there's a lot of forums that they would essentially tank because of that. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I think that the sole reason why those websites are essentially ranking is because they've got a lot of users on them day in, day out, so they can get away with a lot of things, but they do need to do something about those because there's some crazy keywords that Google Meets and GitHub and LinkedIn are ranking for at the minute.
Yeah, 100%, man. All right. Thanks so much for your insights today. Make sure you check out Kazra Dash's channel on YouTube if you haven't already subscribed. And if you want to get a free SEO strategy session, you can book that in. Link is inside the comments and description. And additionally, if you want a free SEO course with some of the best strategies for ranking your website, feel free to get that. You can get instant access inside the comments and description. Appreciate you watching. Thanks. Bye bye.